But at the same time, with the sale, what started is the Steam Award. And I'm not talking about the Game Award, where you have the GOTY that we talked about last week, and which is going to be, I believe, December, what, 5th or 7th, something like this, the result, right? And the jury for the Game Award are journalists and nominations, winners, all of this. We don't have a say. In the Game Awards, it's all journalists, same as like the Cinema Awards. What is the Caesar? Anyway, all these kind of awards. For me, they don't have much value since it's not really a democratic vote. Like, you don't know if there's any kind of corruption or non-objective view, or you don't know what's going on in the background. So yes, you can vote for your favorite games in 10 or 11 categories, and the result will be published early 2024, January 2nd or something. So I would really be way more interested by just to see what the players deem, to see what's the best game of 2024 compared to the Game Awards. Even though it's very likely that Baldur's Gate is gonna win both contests, man, that's fair. I'm pretty sure the nominees would be different if it was voted by players. So yeah, I encourage you to look into it and see what's gonna come up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's always tough. Where if you have it open to the public, obviously, just look at how messed up, say, review scores can be with
Review
review
bombing and
bombing
stupid.
and that sort of thing. It'd be really tough to have a completely audience voted Game Awards. I remember back, what was it? It was several years ago at this point, but GameFAQs used to do their Game of the Decade, I think it was, or Game of the whatever it was called. And the previous two winners had been Final Fantasy VII and Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And so everybody was expecting one of those two to win, or maybe something like maybe you'd get a GTA or something like that. But they're expecting one of these big names. And some people started going on there trying to get Undertale to win like the greatest game of all time. And they went on to Tumblr and they were having these campaigns on Tumblr trying to get all these people to vote for it that had nothing to do with gaming. But it got so big that they just had all these people constantly voting for Undertale, 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 and it became this thing where you could tell like a lot of people were trolling and just trying to get it to win just because it was just so unexpected, and it ended up winning. And a lot of people were upset because they were like, very few people played this game. How did this game win greatest game of all time? But yeah, I think it would be really hard not to have a situation like that where you're just having people, especially given the state of console wars right now, just completely trying to botch it with botted votes and that sort of thing. Just set up a bot to just vote, refresh, vote, refresh, and that sort of thing.
My sort of 2 cents to add would be I vote every Steam Awards since they start because for Steam users, if you're a regular Steam user, you get cards. You get Steam cards that you can actually sell for $3 or $4, Taiwan dollars. That is not US dollars. That would be really cool. But yeah, you can sell these Steam cards and make some money off them, or you can just keep them because the art is always really good. Steam has, or Valve has some really good artists on there. And they're, to me, it's as Antoine was talking, I was thinking about this. It reminds me of the sort of movie film space where in the Oscars or the Tonys or the Emmys, you might have some of these very the people who are on the board of the Oscars committee who vote for these things, and there are always like famous actors or movie critics, and they choose these very sometimes totally not popular movies which don't gross a lot of money, but they're like these wonderfully artistic movies. They're like, wow, this is really cool. And this sort of reminds me of the gaming space as well, in the sense that you can have these People's Choice Awards where everyone votes, and the person who gets the most votes in Steam is the winner. And then you have the Game of the Year awards or other similar award ceremonies where it's these select group of people who sometimes can choose like the indie titles, the titles that nobody expects, right? And I think that's maybe that's the balance that the world has at the moment, which is that you do have a chance to vote for something or people can just vote with their votes, right? Like sometimes people, like you always see the headlines, I see it on my Google News, hey, this box office bomb is doing number one on Netflix at the moment, right? Because what critics like is often not what regular average Joe and Jane's. So I think that's awesome, right? Because you can get games nobody liked critically, but like people like are playing it and it's enjoyable. So I think it's an interesting dichotomy, I guess.
I think the best solution is what we have, where you just have multiple award events, and each one is determined differently. Like, for instance, so the Game Awards is mostly determined by media outlets. I've seen a lot of people saying that due to the Xbox tax, that's the reason why Starfield wasn't nominated, and that what it should be is that it should be determined by people who work in the industry because they would have an idea of these sort of things, which a lot of people then pointed out that's exactly what the Dice Awards do, and it didn't win too many at the Dice Awards either. We have one that's based on what do the media and what do critics, what do they deem as the best. We have one that says what do other developers feel after seeing what everybody's done. How do they feel about, oh, these people did a great job? What you have one that's just Joe Sixpack saying these are the games we like. And I think that's probably just the best way to do it, is just to have multiple awards that use multiple criteria and just say, hey, there is no one best way, but looking at it from these different perspectives.
Yeah,